Heyo, heyo. What is good? What is up, everyone? Give me a minute. I need to actually finish this up. I'm actually not done here with this little webcam. But what is up? What's good, everyone? Hope everyone has been treating themselves well today. There you go. Just what I want to see. Webcam at its perfection. Hmm. I don't want it to mess up the little setup we got going on here. But hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see everyone here. I hope all of you guys have been treating yourself well, been doing yourselves right, been keeping yourself safe. I am Spectacular Pooh here. Nice to see everyone. Welcome back for more of the Lightning Round Talk Show. It is nice to see everybody. Let me check and see real quick. I want to make sure this is fine before we actually do get started. Let me see. Yeah, it seems fine. Okay, yeah, it seems fine. But yeah, how are you guys? How are you? I hope, again, like I said, I hope all of you guys have been have been great, have been keeping yourself safe, have been either wearing a mask or if not wearing a mask, hopefully you've just been keeping your distance from everything that's been going on around the world. Now we know COVID's still going on. Everybody's still getting their shots. Everybody's still not getting their shots. So there's that. But I was supposed to stream yesterday. I did not stream yesterday for a particular reason. Because for one, I was fucking tired as hell. I worked out so hard to a point where I couldn't even I couldn't even I didn't even really want to go downstairs. That's the thing about it. I worked out that hard to a point where I didn't even want to go downstairs. So today we have some particular topics we need to get down to today. So if you guys haven't already, please do get yourself a drink. Please do get yourself some stuff. Please do get everything that you guys can get because today we're going to be covering it. Today we're going to be talking about Titanfall 2. We're going to be talking about the compromise of Titanfall 2. And of course, today we're going to be talking about our NFL scores here that we have up today. There isn't really much in particular that I really want to talk about besides these two things. So, obviously, I'm not finished having to clean up my room a bit. I am definitely going to be working on that. That's why I have made the topics a little bit shorter today, because I want to get all of this out the way real quick before I even go ahead and continue having to do this. Get my thoughts out the way, and then after that, I'll go ahead and continue what I want to do at home, and then I might want to go work out. So I'm not going to waste time. Today, let's talk about the compromise. Right now, first topic at hand, let's talk about the compromise of Titanfall 2. So, from what you guys remember, last time I talked about Titanfall, I talked about this game basically getting hacked to oblivion to a point where it even caught the attention of Apex Legends, where hackers sat up there and they put up save Titanfall, right? It was getting that bad to a point where the only desperate option these people had left was to hack into Titanfall, was to hack into Apex Legends servers and say, "Please save Titanfall." Now, did I agree with the decision to do so? No, but at the same time, I don't blame them for the decision, because Respawn, being the company that they are, literally sat up there and blatantly ignored what is essentially their founding child. Titanfall is literally their founding child. And they've sat up there and they've abandoned it to a point where hackers basically run the whole damn game. Now we caught an update to where it's so terrible to a point where you can't even boot up Titanfall 2 anymore. Imagine that. Choco, you mentioned Phantasy Star Online 2, right? Imagine this with Phantasy Star. I believe you can still play Phantasy Star Online 2 right now, correct? Fuck. Yeah, imagine this but with Phantasy Star. Don't play Phantasy Star Online 2? Okay, but let me go and put it like this. At least you can play Phantasy Star Online 2, right? With Titanfall 2, it's so bad that if you boot up the game, if you even think about booting up the game, your IP, your servers, whatever it is, your IP address, whatever it is, it's gonna get immediately like either hacked up, taken over, whatever. So let me go ahead and explain. Let me go ahead and put this down here. It's compromised to that much of a level, to the point where you damn near can't even play the game offline. I mean, of course, you see here, you got famous rapper or entrepreneur T-Pain saying, look, I can't believe y'all killed Titanfall. I can't believe it either. I can't believe it either, T-Pain. I can't believe it either. It says right here is like this. Fresh rumors of a major hacking vulnerability in Titanfall 2 have fans saying that it should be uninstalled for safety. People have to uninstall the game to watch out for their IP address, or watch out for their just straight up whole thing being hacked. I want people to understand this for a bit. I understand people want to be out here and they want to blame EA. Let me go ahead and put it like this. People still play Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, and the most recent game is Battlefield 5. All of those games today are still being played no matter what console it is, no matter what PC it is. Those people never have to worry about that specific game being hacked to oblivion, because DICE stays on top of these games. They stay monitoring and understanding and being like, okay, we know regardless of what happened with our future game, with our future project, if these people like these specific games, they're going to continue to play it no matter what. This is evidently true, seeing as we're in the year 2021 and motherfuckers are still playing Battlefield 3, which came out in what, 2010, 2011? Around that? Probably before that, probably like what, 2008? Some shit like that. I can't remember. It's been a while. People also still play Battlefield Bad Company 2. I mean, right now you could look it up. Like, we could look it up on Twitch right now, and we'll still see people playing these games, and these people never have to worry about this issue. Battlefield, let's look up Battlefield 3. Let's look it up. We see Battlefield 5, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 5. I want to see Battlefield 3, just to prove the point. So, yeah, as you can see, we still have these games being played. There's no hacking, there's no compromise, no nothing going on. So, this is what I don't understand. People say, oh, let's blame EA. Let's blame EA, when really it shouldn't. Honestly, this shouldn't be towards them. If anything, yeah, they're publishing the game, but they're not going to stay on top of it to tell Respawn to be like, yo, you need to do such and such with this game. You need to completely ignore this game to focus on the main game you have here. Talking about Apex. This is a Respawn problem. And I've never seen a game get taken over the way how Titanfall has been taken over. I don't think I've ever seen this before. I mean, hell, look, we still see people play. Let me go ahead and put another game down. This is not even, this next game I put down is going to have absolutely nothing to do with EA. It's going to have absolutely nothing to do with DICE, but at the same time, it's still going to be up their own realm. So let me go ahead and put this down here. Let's do that. Let's do Black Ops 2. Are anybody still playing Black Ops 2? I believe this game came out almost around the same time, right? God, we have to deal with another ad, huh? But you get my point. It's like these games are still being played. These games are not hacked. If anybody wants to feel the need to go back, play these games, have a little fun, they're right there open for you to do so. If you was to sit up here and be like, yo, let me go ahead and go back, yo, I feel like playing Halo 3, I feel like playing Halo 2. Okay, let me just go ahead and boot up either the Master Chief Collection, or I could just boot up a specific thing that I can play, and I can, play online with it and have fun. So I hope now for people to understand with Respawn, I'm not going to tell y'all to stop supporting Apex Legends. I'm not going to tell y'all to stop playing Apex Legends. If y'all like playing the game, play the game. My thing is, you should be wary about how much stock you want to put into these specific companies. If Titanfall 2, a main game of theirs, right? A game that started them out to where they are now. If they ignored this kind of game, God forbid the next project that God forbid the next project that Apex puts out, that Respawn puts out, and they completely ignore Apex Legends, despite how many people wanting to play that. Now, it's not to say that companies haven't ignored the old game before. I mean, hell, we see this with EA all the time, where they sit up here, they have let's say, for example, they have a new Madden game come out, and every time that new Madden game come out, every 2 years or so, the old Madden game servers get shut down. But what would you rather have, the online services for that game shut down, or would you rather have, in the case of Titanfall, where anytime you boot up the game, even if you try to play the game offline, I believe, if you try to play it offline, you can't play it. You can't even play campaign. I don't even know if this is the case with consoles either. That's the scary part about it. Say, it's like, I have Titanfall 2 right now on my PlayStation 4. Say right now I install the game. Am I going to have that same problem? I may or may not have that same problem. I'm too afraid to find out. But what I do know is this. After seeing this issue become so terrible to a point where you can't even play your favorite game anymore. Like, yo, I hope I never have to go through this issue. I hope no other game has to go through this issue. I'm not going to log into PSO2 just to see if I'm banning out. Why is that? Is it also that bad with Phantasy Star Online 2 right now? To the point where, like, is it like hackers taking over the game? And I mean, yeah. And I mean, yeah, like, you see it like this to where it's like, what the fuck? Because they're randomly permabanning people for literally no reason. Hackers are doing this? Or is it just Sega doing this? People just getting banned out of left and right for no reason? They fucked it up. So Sega's doing this for no reason. That's strictly on Sega. For whatever the fuck reason, I don't know why, but why am I not surprised? Because it's Sega, you know? They've always have something, as of late, they always have something that'll make you hate them even more and more and more. But this is just weird negligence with Respawn, where they've completely ignored their game. This is scary for anybody that plays these kind of games that has their name on it, because Look. We could be 5 to 10 years in the future, and they'll just completely ignore this shit. They'll completely ignore the main game they're playing now. Main game everybody's playing now, just to put their attention on the next game. Last I checked, didn't they have like 2 people trying to fix a Titanfall issue? 2 people? That's crazy. You said they're claiming misconduct, harassment, abusive behavior on its players' behavior, but it's on players that legit never talk to anyone and are just legitimate layers, and there's no discrimination between purely free-to-play players and versus the whales. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say this when it goes to Phantasy Star Online 2. I hate to say this for anybody that sat up there and they put a bunch of time into a game like that, but do not be surprised if the more that this continues, that it's going to come a point with Phantasy Star Online 2 that the game ends up being shut down, because Sega, in their own form of negligence, is driving their own people away from their game. Wow, so apparently we have a Twisted Metal situation. That's not bad, I'm going to be honest with you. But, you know, you see this shit. Like, you see the bullshit at play with one company or another. You see one bullshit at play when it goes to Respawn ignoring their game. You see another bullshit at play when it goes to Sega and their bullshit. Challenge everything in their bullshit. They're getting up there in a level to becoming as worse as EA is. Which is fucked up to say, considering they have a couple good games on their belt. Right? Recent good games on their belt, I mean. But, basically, guys, it's just a simple rehash of what we already know. Is to be careful of what company you plan on trying to put time into. Be very careful. Especially because here's the deal. I see this shit coming from them. I don't want to fucking hear it coming from Respawn. A tweet can only do so much. When they should have taken action over this whole thing long ago. And like, you see stuff like this. You could do stuff like this in the game, but now you can't anymore because hackers. You can't do stuff like this anymore. It's a shame. I guess next we could talk about the NFL, right? I have no problem talking about the NFL, what happened on week 1. And we're going to be soon to be getting at week 2. So I'm going to be talking about my picks and whatnot when it goes to week 2. So let's talk about week 1 of the NFL. First off, we had the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers. Let's talk about that for a bit. Let's see what happened. Let's see if I can have the stats for pulled up with that game. There you go. Nope. Put that on pause. Okay. So here we could talk about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat up on the Dallas Cowboys 31-29. The score, trust me people, the score does not indicate how much of an ass whooping the Buccaneers actually really did put on them, I would say, in my opinion. No, I'm playing. But basically with how the stats went, let me pull up the stats. There you go. So, I don't know why they have it like this to where the player is shown right here when I really don't like that, because I can actually get people like me in trouble. So, to start with it like this, Dak Prescott went 42 of 58, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He actually had a pretty damn good day. The only problem is his team let him down. Zeke Elliott being a prime example of this. Zeke Elliott had 11 carries, 33 yards, no touchdowns, a 3 yards per carry average. Tony Pollard, 3 for 14, 4.7. Dak Prescott only carried the ball 4 times, 13 yards. There really was not a lot of running. And that's actually what cost the Dallas Cowboys is you didn't run a whole lot. Now, granted, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run defense deserve a lot of credit because every time they tried to run the ball, they pretty much stopped them. Um, Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper played like a man possessed. Amari Cooper had 13 catches, 139 yards, and 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb also played very well. He had 7 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. The only thing that was a problem with CeeDee Lamb that is not showcased here is the fact that he had a couple of drops. And he needs to really work on his hands. Now, one particular case I can't blame him for was that one throw that was up in triple coverage. Yeah, that's a pretty hard catch to make when you have 3 Buccaneers defenders swarming down on you, and that's a lot of hands for you to defend while you try to catch the ball. So Dalton Schultz had everybody on the Cowboys actually had a relatively solid game when it went to passing, when it went to receiving. So they did pretty well, but the problem was, like I said before, that run game. Not good. Dak Prescott also lost the ball one time. He lost the ball. Now I don't think it was recovered. I can't say for sure. Honestly, I don't even remember that he fumbled the ball, but it is what it is. Jordan Lewis picked off a pass from Tom Brady. So did Trayvon Diggs. Also picked off a pass from Tom Brady. Defense did relatively okay. The only problem is no one could get their hands on Tom Brady. Man's jersey was clean the whole game. You see no sacks all across the board. So, statistically, the Cowboys had a pretty okay game. The problem was you not only could not stop Tom Brady, who went 32 of 50 for 379 yards and threw for 4 touchdowns and had 2 interceptions. The thing I'm also seeing here is that the Buccaneers also had an issue trying to stop the run, but at the same time, their passing game was just a little bit better, as you can blatantly see here. Antonio Brown had 5 catches, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown. So he pretty much torched the Bucs enough to where, they pretty much torched them. Chris Godwin also torched them. He had 9 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. Rob Gronkowski almost became another 100, almost had a 100-yard game. He had 8 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Leonard Fournette had 5 catches, 27 yards. That's pretty okay for a running back. I mean, 27 yards, though, is pretty meh. But still, at least he had the ball, so at least you could see with Tom Brady, as usual, always able to spread the ball around. But let's look at their defense here. Their defense, pretty solid. Devin White, 8 tackles. Levante David, 5 tackles. Antoine Winfield Jr., 5 tackles. One of the players did get hurt. I will say that. I'm actually seeing your comment here, Choco. I can't believe I missed this. My apologies. You said, so the general consensus now is just don't play the game. That's fucked up because really it's like, like I said before when I went to those 2 games, it's a shame you can't really play them anymore. So Fantasy Star Online 2 and Titanfall 2 is suffering from the same issue, just same thing, just different issues where you cannot play these games, which is quite fucked up. Let's see. Jason Pierre-Paul, he had a sack along with 3 tackles. I'm sorry. Jason Pierre-Paul didn't have a sack. My apologies. I'm looking at Shaquille Barrett, who had a sack along with 3 tackles. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's really it. No real no interceptions between I'm sorry. It doesn't show who picked the ball off on the defensive side for the Buccaneers, but really it's hard to stop the Buccaneers offense. And the Eagles, my team, the Eagles, going to go up against that eventually. But you guys can see it's hard to stop a team like that when you have 3 number 1 receivers on one side of the ball. Essentially 3 number 1 receivers. Chris Godwin, even though he got occasional hands, he's a number 1 receiver on a different team. Antonio Brown is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. That should be enough. That should say enough. Mike Evans, even though he didn't have a good game, he's a number 1 receiver somewhere else. But you see it. All this talent there, they're expected to put up at least 30 points a game. And for the Cowboys, it's not enough. Now we'll see how they'll do when they're going to be in week 2. I'll check the schedule to see who everybody's facing in week 2, because right now I honestly don't know. But yeah, as you can see, Tom Brady doing what he does best. That's leading his team down to the victory. The Cowboys actually had the lead at one point, but Tom Brady led them down the field. That way they could kick a game-winning field goal, and the rest was history. All right, so now we can get onto the next game. I know this one Choco's not gonna like too much. It's the Jaguars versus the Texans. The Texans whipped the Jaguars' ass. 37 whipped their ass. 37 to 21. Oh my God. Completely killed them in that game. So let's take a look at the stats from that game, of course. Oh my goodness. That shit was just wow. Really? Really though? Okay. I'm getting tired of this player showing when I want to look at stats. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Trevor Lawrence as a rookie. Well, pretty rookie game, if I do say so myself. Trevor Lawrence went 28 of 51, throwing for 332 yards. He had 3 touchdowns, and he had 3 interceptions. Not a good look for a player that is supposed to be I guess I'm not too surprised because he's a rookie, but at the same time, he's one of the most hyped up rookies I've seen in quite a while. I mean, he's supposed to be the franchise guy. He's supposed to be the true future. I mean, right now for a true future, this isn't a good look when you have 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against a team, in my opinion, that's pretty mediocre. I'm looking at what else here. I'm looking at the receiving here. For the receiving here, nobody in the Jaguars reached 100 yards receiving. DJ Chark had 3 catches, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Marvin Jones had 5 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Laviska Shenault has 7 catches for 50 yards. James O'Shaughnessy had 6 receptions for 48 yards. James Robinson had 3 catches for 29 yards. Nobody really had a 100-yard game, even though how the hell did? Wait a minute. Okay, Chris Manhertz had 1 catch. That only catch was for a touchdown. That's some crazy shit. I was like, wait a minute. How'd you get 3 touchdowns, Trevor? Did you run for 1? But now I see it. So pretty mediocre game, pretty terrible game coming from, the Jaguars. Now let's take a look at the Texans side of things. Tyrod Taylor, journeyman quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, 21 completions out of 33 attempts, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not bad of a journeyman quarterback. Mark Ingram, also not bad. He definitely carried the rock a lot. 26 carries, 85 yards, 1 touchdown out of a 3.3 yards per average. Definitely not bad, seeing as I guess he's going to be the starting running back over there. So, not bad. Philip Lindsay, who used to be on the Denver Broncos, now on the Texans, had 8 carries, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Brandon Cooks, I didn't think I'd hear from Brandon Cooks again after the Eagles knocked his ass out. Malcolm Jenkins knocked his ass out. So, good to see he's still performing. He had 5 catches, 132 yards. Farrell Brown had 4 receptions for 67 yards. Danny Amendola, still in the league somehow, had 5 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Conley, 2 receptions, 27 yards. David Johnson, 3 receptions, 18 yards, but he did score a touchdown. I'm going to assume that was in the red zone. Nico Collins, 1 catch, 7 yards. Rex Burkhead, he's still around? 1 catch, 6 yards. Okay. Vernon Hargreaves actually had an interception. I didn't think I'd hear from him again. Last I heard of Vernon Hargreaves, he was cut off the Buccaneers. Christian Kirksey had an interception. Justin Reed had an interception. They all picked off Trevor Lawrence. Showed that dude no mercy. So, yeah, other than that, that's essentially it. Desmond King, damn, when did he get on the Texans? What the fuck? Yeah, Christian Kirksey, okay. Terrence Mitchell, yeah, the Texans had a relatively good job, both defensively and offensively. So, not bad for them. Even though they suck, they definitely shut up the Jags. Jaguars was out there. Apparently, they was talking trash, thinking that okay, this is gonna be an easy game. Nah, not gonna be that easy. Sorry. Not gonna be that easy. Not gonna come that easy. So there's that. So that's it for that game. Now we can go on to the next game. Why not? Let's see what's happening in the next game. Oh, okay. Okay. So we got the Chargers and the football team, the Washington No Names. That's what I should call y'all from now on, the Washington No Names. Let me see. I'm actually look up the ESPN version of this because I'm tired of the highlights coming up when I don't want them to come up. Because that's getting on my nerves. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, they don't come up from here. Thank you. I'd rather it be that way. It kind of sucks because it's a little different, but I have no problem with that. So, yeah, I guess why not? We could talk about our Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about them. I'm going to close out the NFL.com one because that one was very annoying. Okay, thank you. No stats show up either. No, I'm sorry. No highlights from here show up either, which is very, very good. I'll take it. So, my Philadelphia Eagles. Let's start with them first. Jalen Hurts. First game. Official first game of his season. 27 of 35, 264 yards out of a 7.5 average, 3 touchdowns, and did not throw an interception. He took a sack. He did very much take a sack. He took a sack for like 3 yards. If that's what I'm seeing here, 1 sack for the loss of 3. Had 72.8 quarterback rating and QBR. I guess is a good thing. 126.4 out of a quarterback rating. I don't know what the fuck they mean by these two. Miles Sanders went 15 of 74. Jalen Hurts, who ran the ball a bit, went 7 of 62. Kenneth Gainwell went 9 of 37, scored a touchdown on one of the running plays that was supposed to be a passing touchdown at first. Devonta Smith, my guy Devonta Smith. 6 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Was very happy to see that 1 touchdown he got. But as you can see, he also ate a bit. Jalen Reagor also ate a bit. Another receiver who people was shitting on. 6 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 4 receptions, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Miles Sanders had 4 catches for 39. Zach Ertz had 2 catches for 34. Quez Watkins had 3 catches for 23. Kenneth Gainwell had 2 catches for 6 yards. I will get to the defense, but I want to get to the offense first. I want to talk everything about the offense first. So, the Eagles pretty much played a solid game up, down, left, and right, and there was only one issue that I had with that whole game. They literally did not throw the ball down the field. They really did not throw the ball down the field. Like, you can look it up for yourself, either throughout the full game or throughout just highlights. You don't see many deep balls. In fact, you don't see any deep balls at all. That was probably one of the few games where I didn't see not really one deep pass was thrown. Which is fucking crazy to me. Out of that whole season. Out of that whole game, Tom Brady threw a deep ball. Justin Herbert threw a deep ball. Matt Stafford threw a deep ball. Dak Prescott threw a deep ball. Everybody thrown some deep passes, but none of these two teams, not Jalen Hurts, not Matt Ryan, nobody threw one. So if I had to say, I do have some serious questions when it goes to that, and that's can Jalen Hurts and can Matt Ryan can both of them throw the deep ball? Can both of them give their receivers a chance? So I want to see Jalen Hurts throw a deep bomb to Jalen Reagor again. I want to see Jalen Hurts throw a deep bomb to Devonta Smith. I want to see what happens when these guys have to adjust when the ball's in the air. So hopefully at some point we'll get to see some of that. Because I very much felt like even though the Eagles blew out the Falcons, Jalen Hurts was kind of protected. Which I understand because, you want to really, really get your quarterback in the motion. You want to get them comfortable. I really understand it off the fact that Jalen Hurts only played one preseason game. So you don't just want to throw everything on his plate immediately. You want to give it to him piece by piece by piece by piece. So I get where Nick Sirianni was going for. And it worked. It very much worked. In the case of the Falcons, I got to tell you, this is a massive disappointment coming from the Falcons. Because you have two key threats in this game. They had two key threats in this game that I thought that they were going to sit up there and push the Eagles defense as hard as I thought they would. And the Eagles knew that they weren't going to push them that hard coming into the second half. They have a bona fide talent in Kyle Pitts. Coming out of college, that man was known to sit up there and completely break the game open with his athleticism, especially as a tight end. To see Matt Ryan not use any deep balls of him was fucking insane to me. I at one point saw Kyle Pitts versus Avonte Maddox. Avonte Maddox, for people that don't know, I'm going to give you Avonte Maddox's size real quick. Avonte Maddox is 5'9", 184 pounds. He is small as shit for a cornerback. Now let me go ahead and give you Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is 6'6", 246 pounds. Let me repeat. Kyle Pitts is 6'6", 246 pounds. When I saw Kyle Pitts line up versus Avonte Maddox, the first thought in my mind was, yeah, there's no way in hell Avonte Maddox is going to win this matchup versus Kyle Pitts. If I was Matt Ryan, as the veteran quarterback that he is, I would have spotted that and be like, you know what? Until they switch off of him, I'm just going to throw it right to Kyle Pitts every single time. Whether it's deep, whether it's short, whether it's intermediate, whether it's deep, I'm throwing it right to him. Why? Because Avonte Maddox cannot outmuscle Kyle Pitts. That's fucking impossible. But somehow, Matt Ryan, who's been in the league for over 10 years, he's been in the league for God knows how long. And he doesn't throw it to him. He didn't throw it to him as much. I mean, let's look at how many catches Kyle Pitts has. Kyle Pitts had 4 catches for 31 yards. How? He's literally, I'm going to tell you this. Kyle Pitts, 11-11, Eagles defense versus Falcons offense. He is literally the most dangerous threat on that team. Dangerous threat on the field. It's not even Fletcher Cox anymore, as much as I love Fletcher Cox because he's up there in age. It is literally him and everybody else is below him. It is so crazy to me that he was not used as like he should have been. He should have broke the game open for the Falcons, and it's crazy because Arthur Smith played so conservatively that game. I hope that's not the case for Kyle Pitts later on in the season, and I hope for Falcons fans they don't see that later on in the season. Now, that better get adjusted quick from the Falcons because you're going up against Tampa Bay. You're going up against Tom Brady. And if you play that conservative against the Eagles, don't do it against Tom Brady. Otherwise, that 32-6 score that you see up here is going to be looking a lot worse when you go up against Tom Brady, who ain't afraid to stretch your defense and test your secondary. So, That's all I got to say with that. Matt Ryan, that whole team needs to be better real quick. And the same can be said for Calvin Ridley, who should have been bullying our cornerbacks. But that's just me. I want to talk about the Eagles defense, who, in my opinion, I see this as a half and half thing. You just hear me rant on the Falcons offense. Now, here's how I feel with this. I feel like it's a mix of both the Eagles being good, both the Eagles doing a solid job, and also the Falcons fucking up. Because you had literally what is it? As a team, they had 3 sacks as a team. They had 6 tackles for loss as a team. Everybody had a pretty solid team effort. But my thing is, it's really like I said, I feel like this more so has to do with the Falcons. I really need to see what they're going to be up against when they're going up against the 49ers. We'll really see what's going to go down with Philly when they go up against the 49ers, who had a pretty damn good day against the they had a pretty damn good game against the Lions. Now, I'll see what they can do. Everybody did pretty good. Avonte Maddox did good. Eric Wilson did good. He needs to clean some shit up. Alex Singleton, I've never seen a steal like Alex Singleton is. Let me go and give you guys a little bit of a football story with Alex Singleton before we move on. Alex Singleton first started out as a draft pick for the Seattle Seahawks. He got cut off of the Seattle Seahawks, landed on the Minnesota Vikings, got cut off the Minnesota Vikings after a bit, went to the Canadian Football League. He was basically the defensive player of the year for the Canadian Football League, and then he gets signed to the Eagles, did well with the Eagles, and of course now here he is. He's the team captain of the Philadelphia Eagles right now. He's one of the team captains, which is pretty damn good of a success story from a player that basically went up and down in the football world to get where he needs to be. And I hope he continues this, because if he does, he's going to get a pretty nice payday. Let's see. That's really it. Eagles, you did well defensively, but I need to see it on week 2. And the same can be said for the Eagles offensively. Right now, there's still too many questions. Yeah, it's crazy. 32-6, but you still have questions. For me, that's how I feel. I'm not going to get too hyped up on them yet, because they get a tougher challenge ahead. The 49ers is not no easy piece. They're not the same team like they were last year where they had injuries all over the place. Their guys are healthy now, and they have to be prepared against George Kittle, who's a freakish tight end. Okay, so speaking of the 49ers, let's go ahead and go to them, since they're our next team. And I'm going to go on against the Cardinals, and I'm going to talk about the Bengals, and I'm going to lastly talk about the Steelers last. So let's talk about the 49ers versus the Lions. Now, my thoughts on this game with the 49ers and the Lions is simply this. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. Give me a minute. There you go. Here are my thoughts on this when it goes to the 49ers and the Lions. At first, this is pretty much looking like a blowout game. You can see from the stats, Jimmy Garoppolo going 17-25, 314 yards and a touchdown. He did pretty damn solid. Especially statistically, he did pretty damn solid. Elijah Mitchell did pretty damn good. 19 of 104 yards, 1 touchdown. Solid work. Everyone else, they did their part. Raheem Mostert, though, sadly got hurt. He won't be seen throughout the rest of the season. So, of course, the 49ers will have to rely on Elijah Mitchell and the rest of their cast to do work. Deebo Samuel definitely put in work. Deebo. I have to be prepared for Deebo like it's fucking Friday. So Deebo Samuel had 9 receptions, 189 yards, and a touchdown. That one touchdown was a straight-up bomb with the readjustment. And I just talked about the Falcons not having to stretch the field. I'm going to tell you this. Deebo Samuel will sure as hell stretch the field against the Philadelphia Eagles if he's given the opportunity. So, yeah, they better prepare themselves. George Kittle had 4 catches for 78 yards. He wasn't much of a factor, but I expect him to be a key factor against the Eagles linebackers, because I don't think there's anybody there that I can honestly say that can really go toe-to-toe with George Kittle. and can really like step up. That's my opinion. Now I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong, in fact. So we'll find out come next week. But yeah, other than that, those two main guys, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, phenomenal work. Especially Deebo Samuel, almost having 10 catches. He broke the game open for the 49ers on that game. Detroit Lions, Jared Goff actually had a solid game. The only problem was that he threw the ball 57 times, almost threw the ball 60 times. His arm must be shot. 38 of 57, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He took 3 sacks out of a loss of 24 yards. Man, that was not good. Jamal Williams, 9 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift had 11 carries, 39 yards. DeAndre Swift, that wasn't the end of him, though, because you can see it from the receiving end. He had 8 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown. Pretty solid work on there. T.J. Hawkinson had 8 catches, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Jamal Williams also had 8. God damn! 3 Lions receivers had 8 catches. The only difference is the yards. Jamal Williams had 56 yards. Basically, statistically, Jared Goff really did spread the ball around. The problem is that they fucked up because they were on the brink of a comeback. As you guys can see it. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'll read it off to you. Detroit Lions put up 16 points in the fourth quarter. It would have been more if they didn't fuck up at the end. You could take a look at the highlights. You see where they fucked up at the end. But yeah, that's a bit of a problem on their end that they need to adjust, that they need to fix upon. They were down throughout a good bit of the game, and they just kept fighting. They showed heart. I give the Lions credit for that. They really showed some heart at the end, but it's just not enough. If you're gonna show heart at the end, you got to step it up at the beginning of the game. So 41-33, solid job for the Lions, just not enough. Now, because of them showing heart like they did, this makes me want to go ahead and be like, okay, now I'm looking at the 49ers differently, because here's the deal. If you put up that many points and then you fuck around and you slack off at the end of the game, this makes me question, are you really built for this when you go up against the Eagles? Now, the Eagles are a young, up-and-coming team. They might not fuck up the way that the Lions fucked up. They might not, just not score on the first 2 quarters, not score as many points as they should have in the first 2 quarters. They might just come out swinging. And they have the personnel to come out swinging. So if I'm the Niners, I'd be prepared and I'd be wary, especially when you have to go up against Jalen Hurts. You have to go up against Devonta Smith, who's known for phenomenal separation. You have to go up against a pretty young and pretty talented Eagles squad. Now, I am going to go on the defensive side. We're going to talk about them on defense. Fred Warner, who's the star over there for the 49ers. He had 11 tackles. 8 of them were solo. Solid job coming from Fred Warner. He really did a good job being around the ball at all times when it went to the 49ers. Jesqui Tart, I believe that's a cornerback, right? He had 7 tackles, 5 of them were solo. Azizi Al-Shahir, I hope I got his name right. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He had 7 tackles, 4 of them were solo. Jimmy Ward had 4 tackles, 6 of them were together. Jason Ferret, I will get to him. He has 6 tackles, 4 of them were solo. He had 1 pass defense. Shahir had 2 pass defense. There was a lot of pass breakups. Nice job. When it goes to Jason Ferret, sadly he sadly tore his ACL. That is not only a big blow for him, seeing as he just got back from an ACL injury the year prior, but it sucks that he had another ACL tear. So I hope for him he gets healthy for next season. I hope he gets healthy, period, because ACL tears is not it's not ideal for anyone in particular. So there's that. So yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to really point out and say besides solid work when it goes to the 49ers. They did pretty damn good defensively. But we'll see how well they can keep that up, because like I said, week 2 they go up against the Eagles, and that's at the Eagles' home. The Eagles start their home opener against the 49ers. And yeah, that's pretty much it from there. I guess we can go, of course, like I said, one or two more. Let's talk about the Vikings versus the Bengals. Stormy's team, the Bengals. Stormy's team, the Bengals. All right. Kirk Cousins put in work. 36 out of 49, 351 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He took 3 sacks out of a loss of 26 yards. He had 106.8 on the quarterback rating. Wow, Justin Jefferson, yeah, he did throw a pass. I forgot about that. Dalvin Cook had 20 carries, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Amir Abdullah had 1 carry for 4 yards. Adam Thielen balled out, 9 receptions, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. Solid work from Adam Thielen, as always. Dude is consistent as all hell. KJ Osborne has 7 receptions, 76 yards. Justin Jefferson, 5 receptions, 71 yards. Dalvin Cook, 6 receptions, 43 yards. Tyler Conklin, 4 receptions, 41 yards. Yeah, as you can see, Kirk Cousins was fucking slinging it. My goodness. He was slinging it. So, that's good for him. You see all that on the receiving end. Let's take a look at Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, 20 of 27, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns. He took 5 sacks, though. That's not a good look. Not a good look for the Cincinnati offensive line. 2 touchdowns, but had 5 sacks out of a loss of 44 yards. He did have 128.8 on the quarterback rating. Not bad. Joe Mixon had 29 carries, 127 yards. Pretty solid work. Samaje Perine, 5 carries out of 22 yards. Receiving, Jamar Chase, who made his NFL debut, of course, 5 receptions, 101 yards, and 1 touchdown. Solid work from Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, 4 receptions, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Bengals, pretty solid effort on the receiving end and the passing end, but as you can see, y'all gave up 5 sacks. I'm gonna say this real quick: if y'all give up 5 sacks like that, y'all not gonna keep this up forever. We saw this last year. How do y'all think Joe Burrow had the injury that he had? Because nobody could protect him. Nobody could protect him. Like, yo, are y'all out here trying to get your future franchise quarterback killed or what? Like, yeah, you have Joe Burrow. You have Jamar Chase. At what fucking cost if dudes out here getting killed? So they better adjust with their offensive line, and they better adjust it fast, because if not, you're going to lose Joe Burrow real quick. And I don't think that's something nobody in the league wants to see, let alone any team wants to see. So defensively, let's take a look at defensively. Both teams did well defensively, to be quite honest with you. The total tackles, 73-48, 3 sacks, 7. That went to the Bengals. 79-50, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. Yeah, both teams actually did pretty okay defensively. It's just that it was a matter of the Bengals having to come through clutch when it mattered most. They kicked that game-winning field goal, and the rest was all history. And no, I'm not going to get too on the defensive end for neither teams, because I'm actually going to speed this up. Last but not least, we have the Steelers versus the Bills. I actually could not believe this game. Actually, no. Take that back. That's not the game I want to talk about. This the game I want to talk about as we end it. Now, if you guys want to read up on the stats yourself, feel free. But this I want to talk about. Would you believe me that this is the score that we're looking at here? The New Orleans Saints defeat the Green Bay Packers 38-3. You'd be led to believe if this was some weird-ass form of genjutsu that Itachi Uchiha hit on us. That's what you'd be led to believe. You'd be led to believe that we got hit with that mean as fuck Tsukiyomi. But apparently that ain't the case. let's go ahead and read these stats off. Let's start with the amazing Aaron Rodgers, who came back and said that this is going to be his last dance. This is going to be his last season. Aaron Rodgers went 15 of 28, 133 yards, did not throw a touchdown, threw 2 interceptions, took 1 sack with a loss of 11, and his quarterback rating was a 13.4. This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. The same Aaron Rodgers, people, that won MVP last year. That's fucking wild to me. Very wild to me that this happened the way that it did. Fucking insane. Now, let's take a look at this from the Saints side in comparison. Jameis Winston, who got cut off the Bucs and spent a year sitting while Drew Brees was playing his final season, went 14 of 20, 148 yards, and threw for 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. Not only did he throw for 5 touchdowns, before we get to the 5 touchdown point, when he was at 4 touchdowns, Jameis Winston did not get over 100 yards when he hit 4 touchdowns. I have never seen some shit like that before. How do you throw 4 touchdowns and you didn't even throw for over 100 yards yet? That's actually difficult to do. Very difficult to do. So, I'm surprised he was able to accomplish that. But that 5th touchdown was on a deep bomb. And that pretty much told the Packers to sit Aaron Rodgers' ass down. His QBR was a 92.5. His rating was a 130.8. That was probably the best Jameis Winston game I've seen from him since probably his freaking college days back at FSU. And to think him getting his eye fixed led to him throwing 5 touchdowns, whereas he had a fucked up eye and he was throwing 30 touchdowns with 30 interceptions to join the 30-30 club. Okay, so let's look at it for Green Bay with rushing. A.J. Dillon, Kyler Hill, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is the biggest surprise with me. Aaron Jones is supposed to be a star running back for the Green Bay Packers. He did next to nothing. He had 5 carries for 9 yards. What the fuck happened here today? Everybody on the Green Bay Packers side had no touchdowns. Nobody caught a touchdown. Devontae Adams led the receiving category with 5 catches. Nobody had over 100 yards. The whole Packers team was just straight up abysmal. And I hope for them they get it together real quick, because that ain't a good look. Whereas in the case of the Saints, Deontay Harris had 2 receptions for 72 yards and a touchdown off that deep bomb. Juwan Johnson had 3 receptions, 21 yards. Adam Truman had 3 receptions off of 18 yards. Nobody on the Saints had 100 yards either. But nobody on the Saints even had 5 catches. Which is so fucking wild to me. Nobody on the Saints had 5 catches. Nobody in the Saints had 100 yards. And yet, they just completely fucked up the Green Bay Packers. This is probably the most weirdest stat line I've ever seen when it goes to a team that blew out a playoff team. I've never seen stats like this before, which is crazy. But the only common stat here that I see is Alvin Kamara having 20 carries for 83 yards. That's the most common stat I see here. Everything else here, I'll just go down the team total when it goes to New Orleans defense. They had 47 tackles, 35 of them were solo tackles. They had 2 sacks. They had 2 tackles for loss. That's just on the defensive side of the things, the defensive side of the ball. It's not even talking about the interceptions. So the interceptions, they, of course, as you know, they picked off Aaron Rodgers twice. When it goes to Green Bay had 57 tackles total. 43 of them was for loss, and only one pass was defended against. It's crazy to me. Yeah, this whole stat line for me was absolutely wild, and to see that the Saints blew out the Packers with that kind of stat line is fucking crazy to me. Now, I will go ahead and get to week 2. Also, what's crazy is the Cardinals beating up on the Titans the way they did. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get to week 2. I'm going to give my thoughts on week 2. So, week 2, you have the Giants taking on Washington. Honestly, I don't know who's going to win because both teams are shit water. But if I had to take a guess off of one team, I'm probably going to give it to the Washington football team because I think the Washington football team has a defense that's going to smother the Giants, seeing as the Giants had big issues trying to defend the Broncos. If you had that kind of issue defending them, you're going to have just as much of a hard time trying to stop Chase Young. So defensively, I see Washington pulling them, just giving them the victory. That's going to be tomorrow. So, yeah, if you guys want to look forward to some NFC's action, watch tomorrow. Sunday, we have the Bears. We have the Bengals versus the Bears. I see the Bengals winning this game, but I could be wrong. I will say the Bears, in a way, they played okay versus the Rams, but not enough. I see this being the same case unless if the Bears defense can get home and start attacking Joe Burrow, but I feel like their defense will not be enough to stop that offensive firecracker of a team that is the Bengals. When you have Jamar Chase, when you have T. Higgins there, when you have Joe Mixon there, that's going to be very interesting for them to try and stop. So I'm going to be looking forward to it. But I do see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase hooking up again for another touchdown. Texans versus Browns. Who would have thought we'd be saying this? Texans versus Browns. I'm going to be honest with you. After that choke job that the Browns put on versus the Chiefs, I see the Browns coming back, and I see them beating the Texans this time around. Now, while the Texans did a pretty damn good job against the Cleveland Browns, I don't see them coming in thinking it's all well and good that they're just going to hop on in and, beat up on the Browns, especially at home. Now, granted, Odell Beckham Jr. will not be playing in this game, so that kind of hurts the Browns a little bit. But the Browns still have enough firepower to take down the Texans, which I can see coming. So the Browns avenge their choke job loss, and they come in and they beat the Texans with this upcoming week. Now, Rams versus Colts. I'm going to make it quick. The Rams are going to win this game. The Rams will win this game. Why I think the Rams will win this game? Because I don't know if you guys saw how many sacks or how many quarterback hits Carson Wentz took versus the Seahawks, but if he took that many hits versus the Seahawks with no Aaron Donald, he's going to take just as much. He's going to take just as much. I don't know when what the hell's his name? I don't know when Quentin Nelson's going to be back, but he better be back quick because Aaron Donald's looking to eat. It ain't the first time and it won't be the last. Aaron Donald gets his numbers. And he's going to get his numbers again starting with Carson Wentz. Which is a bit of a problem because Carson Wentz has an injury history. I should know. I had him on my team. So for the Colts offensive line, y'all better step your shit up. Otherwise, you will see Carson Wentz on the injured list. And it won't be because of him holding the ball on for too long. It's because you guys can't protect your quarterback for shit, which is crazy to say because you're used to seeing them having a good line. With or without Quentin Nelson there, you're used to seeing them have a good line. But that gave me Andrew Luck vibes, seeing that you couldn't protect them that long. So, yeah, Rams, I can see winning this game. Not just due to their defense, but because of their offense, because their offense is looking damn good. People are now really starting to realize what happens when you put Matthew Stafford on a damn good team. So if I was the NFC West, if I was the league, I'd keep a lookout for the Rams when it goes to Matt Stafford because he's looking to make sure that that he reminds everyone exactly who he is as a quarterback. Bills versus Dolphins. Honestly, I don't know who's going to win this game because it's the AFC East. It's a rivalry game. anyone could go anywhere with this. Same thing when it goes to Patriots versus Jets. I don't know who's gonna win. But if I had to take a clear guess out of who I think is gonna win this game, I'm going to say the Patriots is gonna win this game against the Jets. Actually, I'll take that back. That's pretty easy. The Patriots will win against the Jets. The Jets did not do good at all. They did completely terrible against the Panthers, who I think are just as average as they are. But I think the Patriots will win this game against the Jets. When it goes to the Bills and the Dolphins, I actually see the Bills taking this game. I think with what happened with the Bills, it's a weird occurrence with them. But I think they're going to get out of whatever the hell happened with them. And then I think they're going to win this game. I think Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, they're going to lead them to victory on this game. I can see that being the case. 49ers versus Eagles. Y'all already know I'm going to say the Eagles are going to win. I'm an Eagles fan. But while I said the Eagles are going to win, I'm going to take a look for some key players to look out for. So the first key player to look out for, Deebo Samuel. Why Deebo Samuel? Because the Eagles, as I just said previously, they haven't exactly had someone to stretch the defense against them yet. Matt Ryan did not stretch the defense against them. So the safeties was able to sit back and chill. The 49ers will stretch the defense if they see the opportunity, which they likely will. So Deebo Samuel versus Darius Slay or versus Nelson. Yeah. You better have some safety help ready. In the case of the 49ers, I expect this to be same case too when it goes to the Eagles. I need to see Jalen Hurts stretch out the defense as well, along with either Jalen Reagor or with Devonta Smith. Either way, shit like that needs to happen. I expect a vertical game for both teams. Now, which team is probably going to come out on top when it goes to being more vertical? That might go to the 49ers. Only because of the simple fact that I keep seeing the Eagles play off coverage quite a lot, and I need to see them start pressing their guys. So I don't like this whole 5 yards off bullshit. It gets on my nerves. And last but not least, I'm going to do one last game. Let's see. You know what? Let's do. You know what? Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do Saints versus Panthers. That's a little interesting. Who do I think is going to win between the Saints versus the Panthers? I can see. This is tough. I can see the Panthers winning, which is crazy. I don't know why, but I see the Panthers winning. I see the Panthers winning only because of the fact that I think personally the Panthers got more weapons to do it. That's what I think. I think the Panthers are more of a threat to mess up the Saints defense than what people are led to believe. I think Robbie Anderson can definitely put in some work especially when he has below average cornerback play going up against him. And the same can be said for DJ Moore, who's coming into his own. So, and of course you got Christian McCaffrey. How could I forget? You have Christian McCaffrey here, who had 9 catches, 89 receiving yards. Who's there on the Saints right now who you think can really contain Christian McCaffrey? I remember my dad telling me stories back in the day when the Saints were called the Aints. Yeah, I remember all those days back in 2003, 2002, 2001, some shit like that, or maybe even beforehand. Yeah, I definitely see what you mean. So, what's up, Omega? How you doing? That's what I think is gonna happen. That's what I really, really think is gonna happen. I see the Panthers coming in, smacking the Saints in the mouth, and getting that W. And it's going to be because of Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, and it's going to be because of Robbie Anderson. Now, don't sleep on J.C. Horn. Keep an eye on that, people. Keep an eye on that cornerback for the Panthers. J.C. Horn ain't nothing to fuck with. That dude is a baller. That man's a baller. I love J.C. Horn coming out of college. I'm happy the fact that he's on a pretty physical team such as the Panthers. I can see him balling the fuck out over there. There's also Terrence Marshall for LSU. Keep an eye out for him too. And that's really it. Those are really my picks for today. I know it's not as conventional because I'm usually supposed to go through every team, but I'm kind of in a bit of a rush here. So thank you to Omega for coming. I'm sorry that it is a bit early. It's a bit short of a stream, but yeah, thank you all so much that decided to come by. Come check me out. So let's take a look at the schedule for the rest of this week. Now, I was supposed to, again, keep in mind, people, I was supposed to do this yesterday, but I was too tired yesterday. So let's take a look at the schedule for the rest of this week. So this is the schedule for the rest of this week. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When I'm open, I'm going to be doing Yakuza 0. Thursday at 4:30 p.m. I'm going to be doing movie night. Thursday also at 8:30 p.m. we're going to be doing Wrestle Night. Going to be doing movie night and wrestling night. Friday night I'm going to be doing Monster Hunter. We're going to be doing our Monster Hunter community games where last time we did Monster Hunter Gen U. This time we're going to do Monster Hunter World on the PC. Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we're going to come back with Pokemon Unite on Saturday with my man Bozosuki Live. Yakuza will be tonight because yeah, I was supposed to do Lightning Round yesterday. I didn't, so I'm making it up for it today. But yeah, Wednesday night, 8:30, I'm going to be doing Yakuza 0. Of course, to keep in mind, guys, on the top left side of the screen, all of it will be on the Eastern Time Zone. So I'm sorry if you're not in the Eastern Time Zone, if it's hard for you to understand. But don't worry, I will send out updates for when I will be going live, whether it be on the Gilded or on on Stormy's Discord or on other people's Gilded that I'm a part of. So I will definitely be sending some updates from there. Alright, so till then, guys, as always, thank you all so much for the love. Thank you, Choco, for coming by, showing the love. Thank you, Demonic, for coming by, showing the love. Thank you, Omega, for coming by, showing the love. One more thing, before I actually do go ahead and send you guys to another streamer. I want to thank the boss lady for dropping us a subscription. She dropped the offline subscription. She renewed her sub. Thank you so much for that, as always. Much love to you, as always. Thank you. Sub hype off that. Much love to you. So, till then, I have found a streamer for you guys to go and check out. So, right now, I'm taking a look at, what's this person's name? Oliver Closeoff, where right now he's playing The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which is an interesting game. I don't think I've really ever seen this game before. So we're going to go ahead and raid him, and we're going to see what's up with him. Till then, as always, guys, let's go ahead and show this person some love. If this person, hold on, let me see. Is he Spanish? Okay, they say he's English. Okay, just to make sure. I always make sure to check out some English streamers while I can. I understand there's Spanish and French streamers, but I gotta keep it locally so that way you guys can interact and chill with the streamer. So, I hope I can see you guys a little later tonight where I go on ahead and I play some Yakuza. Till then, say hi to Oliver for me. Show him some love, the Phantom way. Tell him Phantom Raid. And, yeah. That's it. See you guys. Later.